Today's topic, how to talk to a guy you like. Yes, today I want to share specific tips and techniques with you that can help you to attract the man that you truly want, the guy that you like, and I want to show you step by step what you have to do if you want to talk to this guy, and not only if you want to talk to this guy, but if you want to talk to him in a way that makes him more attracted to you. And the first tip I have for you, and that's also the most important thing to do, is to actually talk to him even if you are nervous. As human beings, we always think that other people perceive us as way more nervous than we actually are. If you, for example, think, let's use a scale from 1 to 10, that you are a strong 7 on the nervousness scale and that you're shaking and that you can't control yourself, that your heart is beating fast, he might see you as, on the nervousness scale, a 3. And that's something that I learned in public speaking classes. That's something that I learned from one of my mentors in Toastmasters. So while you might be thinking, oh my god, I'm way too nervous, oh god, he will think that I'm a complete weirdo, oh no, he will never go on a date with me. While that happens inside of your mind, he thinks to himself, oh, she's maybe a little bit nervous, maybe not, I think I'm way more nervous than her. And that's something that you should always keep in mind when you're talking to a guy. He might on the outside look completely smooth and completely confident, but on the inside he might be dying. He might be thinking, oh god, does she like me? Do I look good? Oh, do I smell good? Oh, is that jacket looking funny? Is it looking good on me? Oh, what's going on? Does she like me? While you're thinking, oh, I'm too nervous. So don't worry about it. He's probably way more nervous than you are. And for him, it's of course the same. You might be thinking, hey, he's kind of confident, but inside of himself, he thinks, oh god, I'm freaking out. So don't worry about this. Even if you're nervous, talk to him. And then talk to him by starting the conversation in a very casual way. If you're, for example, in a social circle, you can simply say hi, introduce yourself to him, or you can also ask a friend of yours to introduce you to him, or you can simply come up with a topic that's related to the social circle that you're in. For example, if you are at a private party, you can ask him how many people he knows, or if you are at a meetup about spirituality, you can ask him about his spiritual journey. And even if you're, for example, in a supermarket, you can ask him what kind of cheese he recommends or what kind of wine he recommends. This is actually one of the easiest ways how you can meet men. If you do your grocery shopping and you then stand in front of the wine or you stand in front of the cheese or whatever you want to buy and you see a handsome guy and you simply ask him, hey, what do you recommend? And then you casually engage him in a conversation. And then when you are in a conversation with him, even if you are standing in the supermarket aisle, even then you can give him a compliment. You can let him know that his jacket looks nice. Or you can let him know that he has really beautiful eyes. I mean, why not? What's stopping you? I know your nervousness, but remember, at some point you have to do it. Always remember what, I think it was Michael Jordan, or was it Michael Jordan, who said you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. If you see a handsome guy, no matter where you are, if you're at a bar, at a club, if you're in the supermarket, if you're at a meetup, if you are in a meditation group, it does not matter. Of course, don't do it during the meditation, but once the meditation is over, and then you simply start a casual conversation, you hold eye contact, and you smile at him. And you then also maybe give him 1 or 2 compliments, and then he will know that you actually like him. And if you like him, and if there's a certain guy that you like, if you have a specific guy in mind, if you maybe already went on 1 date with him, and if you're texting with him and you're not sure whether or not he likes you too, and if you want me to help you to get him and to then also keep him, then you can go to gethimkeephim.com/Skype, or you click on the second link in the description and book a Skype coaching session with me. And now you have the chance to directly book this coaching session on my Skype coaching page. So just go to gethimkeephim.com/Skype, and then I can show you if this guy wants you. I can have a look at your text messages that you exchanged with him, and we can come up with a strategy that can help you to get and to keep this man. And speaking of getting and keeping this man, if you want to get and to keep a man, you should have at least some things in common. And you want to find out during the conversation that you have with this guy if you actually have something in common. I mean, if you value certain things and he has completely different values, and if you like certain things and he hates everything you do, then you might not be compatible for a relationship. I don't say that you have to be compatible in every area. However, when it comes to your values, to the idea of how you want to live your life and how you want to create and live your future, there should be at least some commonalities. And that's why when you talk to a guy you like, you should always talk about things that you have in common and try to find out what he actually likes. And this can be done with very simple questions like, hey, what do you like to do in your free time? Hey, what are some things that you value? If you could choose 3 of your most important values, what would they be? What are some of your 3 best characteristics? What are some of your 3 worst characteristics? And if you communicate it in a playful way, if you introduce these questions as a part of a game to find out something about him and you then reveal something about yourself, this can not only help you to talk to a guy you like in an engaging way, in a way that he actually enjoys, but it also allows you to find out if this man is actually compatible with you and if you can imagine a relationship with him. And now that we're already talking about talking, why not talk about touching? If you want this guy to be into you, if you want him to have, well, let's say it like this, naughty thoughts about you and with you, then you also want to touch him. It doesn't hurt to touch him while you're talking to him. You can, for example, touch his shoulder when he cracks a joke. Even though the joke might be terrible, you can still touch his shoulder. Or you can also, while you're sitting next to each other on a date, allow yourself to move a little bit into his direction and then allow your leg to touch his leg. And that's why it's always a good idea on a date to sit next to a guy or on a table to sit on the corners so that you can actually touch him. If you only sit opposite to him, then you will never have the ability and the chance to touch him. And if you want to touch this guy, if you want to make him yours, then you should find out if this man is actually available or if he has a girlfriend. And that's something that I realized now that I've coached a lot of women in Skype coaching sessions. A lot of women, and I'm pretty sure it's also true for men, but a lot of women who I coach in Skype coaching sessions, they are afraid to find out if the person they have an interest in is actually single. But if you don't ask this question, or if you don't, let's say, assume that he's single or assume that he's in a relationship so that he can then correct you and let you know if he's in a relationship or not, if you don't do that, you are wasting so much valuable time. I mean, imagine you're talking with a guy for 1 hour and then suddenly he says, oh, by the way, I have to pick up my girlfriend. It was nice talking to you. Then, of course, you will end up disappointed. But when you find out within a couple of minutes of talking to him whether or not he's actually single, whether or not he's available, then you don't waste any valuable time. And if he's in a relationship, you can move on. That's why it's always good to say things like, hey, I'm sure your girlfriend must be proud of you. Or you can also say, I'm sure that a great guy like you is in a relationship. And by doing that, you already speak to his male ego. He feels like the king of the hill. And then he can tell you, oh no, by the way, I'm single. And you can then say, that's very good. Or, hey, you can actually say something else. You can use your words to activate his hero instinct. Now you might be asking, why should I activate his hero instinct? Well, because if you activate a man's hero instinct, he will see himself as the hero of his life and the hero of your relationship, which means that even the most commitment-phobic man will be ready to commit to you. And if you want to know how 7 of my coaching clients inspired their man to commit to them by activating their man's hero instinct, then you can click on the first link in the description or go to gethimkeephim.com/obsession. And whenever you're talking to a guy, no matter if you're talking to him for the very first time, or if it's your second or third or fourth conversation, or your first, second or third date, always express yourself fully and authentically so that he knows what you're looking for and what you don't want in a relationship. I mean, it all starts with the first date, that you actually communicate to him in a clear and honest way that you are not looking for short-term hookup, but you're looking for a long-term relationship. And then once you progress in the dating process and you have your second and third date, whenever he does something that you don't like, whenever he does something that you don't agree with, don't hold back. So many of my Skype coaching clients told me that at some point in their last relationship, they betrayed their values. They betrayed who they are because they thought by not speaking up, they make themselves more attractive. And I mean, even though you might be then more attractive to a very insecure man that you don't even want, in the end, when you don't speak up, when you don't share your honest opinion, then you have the problem that you might end up in a relationship with a man who's not really compatible to you. And by then showing him that you are compatible and that you agree with him, even though you disagree, you not only betray yourself, but you also betray your future relationship, because at some point the disagreements and the incompatibility will show. That's why I always tell my Skype coaching clients to be honest and authentic from the get-go, because this honesty and this authenticity allows you to prevent problems later on, and it makes sure that you actually end up in a relationship with the right man. And in order to find out if this man is compatible with you, or if you disagree on everything with him, it's important that you listen very carefully, and also at the same time listen to him while you're talking to him with empathy. And what I mean by that is that you put yourself in his shoes. So instead of always seeing the world from your point of view, also try to understand his point of view. Try to understand his thoughts and his behaviors and the way he sees the world according to his past, his trauma that he's experienced, and his upbringing, and also, of course, the life he's living right now. And this allows you to truly understand him. And when you then can give him the feeling that you understand him, and you can communicate this understanding, this deep connection, this idea of, yes, she gets me. If you can communicate that to him, then he will be totally into you. And if you click on the first link in the description or go to gethimkeephim.com/obsession, then you also have the power to make this man obsessed with you. And if you really like him, that's exactly what you want. And if you enjoyed watching this video, if you liked it, please give it a big thumbs up and leave a comment in the comment section below. Share your opinion, share your thoughts. I would love to hear from you. And I would love it even more if you would hit the subscribe button and smash that notification bell so that you get notified whenever I release a new video for you. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video.